Came down to Los Angeles where there was quite a bit of EV activity and started talking to people. And these were mostly, small shops just getting in on the ground floor of electric vehicles. The technology level was far less than it is today. And most of the people I talked to were pretty unimpressive, if not downright, quackery, and just didn't know what they were doing.
Just basically, in every gas vehicle, there actually is a battery. So in a sense, if you want to say, every gas vehicle is a hybrid in a small sense, because you do have a thing called an in-house or a lead acid battery. Then you have one called the traction battery. The traction battery is what drives the electric motor that makes the electric vehicle actually move.
Two things you're trying to do in grid regulation. You want to be able to have enough power so that when the demand on the grid goes up because everyone's kicking on their ACs or someone's turning on some major appliance, that the voltage doesn't sag. The other thing that happens sometimes, there's a thing called a power factor, and that has to do when the AC waveform of the voltage and the AC waveform of the current don't match up. Then your power factor shifts a little bit. So you are becoming less efficient on the way everything operates. And they try to maintain the power factor so that the two stay in phase, because that delivers the most energy most efficiently.
The idea is it's completely different, and it's not, we don't have, and I don't know that anybody has, a ready-to-go kit that's one kit good for everybody, plug and play, mount this up and go. Simply because the size and the weight of the batteries are so big, and that the complexity is typically out of most people's range. That's just the admonition to the general public. And maybe if they see your movie, they'll think twice about calling, and I won't get so many calls. And second, perpetual motion doesn't exist, okay? Stop it. If you think it looks like that, it probably does. Stop it. Don't call. We don't have it either.
At that time I was working at JPL. I'd already been involved with electric vehicles for about 20 years. I got involved initially as a sophomore at Caltech, and drove an electric car cross country, an electric car race, which Caltech won over MIT. That's a separate story. We'll save that for later. So I'll go 20 years forward to 1985. I'd heard about a company called AeroVironment that had done some interesting things with human-powered aircraft. And they obviously understood aerodynamics, and they understood how to build lightweight structures. Meanwhile, at JPL, I was working on electric propulsion. I was working on batteries, sealed lead-acid batteries, and I'd gotten started with something we call AC drive, induction motors and inverters. When I heard about the thing with AeroVironment, I thought, this is potentially a good match. If we could work with them, they could perhaps do body structure and the aerodynamics, and the work I was doing at JPL would provide a drive system. So I met with the founder and then president of AeroVironment, Paul McCready, talked to him about this, and he liked the idea. And a proposal was put together called the Electrospirit proposal, was submitted to General Motors. Remember now, this is 1985. And we struck out. It was a $3 million proposal, and one of the things